Hello and welcome everybody. My name is William Red, your TESOL instructor, and in this video we will be discussing public transportation vocabulary and expressions. So without further ado, today this is what the outline looks like, what to expect. First, we'll discuss vocabulary with pause activities in between every 8 vocabulary words or expressions, followed by the vocabulary in use, then a thank you, and finally, resources. So let's just go ahead and get started. Vocabulary 1 through 4. The first vocabulary word is public or private transport, also known as public or private transportation. This comes in a lot of different forms. Maybe you could think of buses or maybe the metro or a shuttle. Anything like that would be considered public transport. And if you own your own car, maybe even your own boat, that would be private transport from one location to another. Another very fun word or words will be journey or adventure. So if you get on public or private transport, you might be going on a journey. And let's say you're in France and you want to go from Nancy to Lunéville, that could be a journey. Or it could be Nancy to Toulouse in southern France. So journey or an adventure. We have congestion, which is also referred to as heavy traffic. This is when there's lots and lots of cars moving in a similar direction and it's fairly slow. It's also used as a word to refer to when you have a lot of built up mucus in your chest or in your sinuses and you're having a hard time breathing. That's also known as congestion. Environmentally friendly is a vocabulary word that is is designed to assist with any sort of ideas of transportation that is better for the environment. For example, using a bicycle instead of driving, or carpooling instead of driving private transportation. Moving forward, cycle, bike, lanes. It could be referred to as a cycle lane, lanes, or bike lane, lanes. And it's a specific location either on the road or next to it where bikes or cyclists are able to ride their bikes. Again, that's to ride a bike or to cycle in the verb form. Vehicle is a generic or general term to describe most modes of transportation that involve an engine. So that can be a car, a truck, really even a tractor could be a vehicle. Vehicle. Railroad, this is used for things like a train, sometimes used for public transport. And so a railroad would be what you see in this image, one specific track that takes you from one location to another. And a rail network is all of the railroads connected throughout a country. To get on or off is a useful verb to use. So if you're going to get on a bus or a train, we would say to get on it. We would not say to mount. So to get on, and it's the same verb if you're wanting to ascend the steps and leave the train, it would be to get off. To get on, to get off. This is where you're more than welcome to pause the video and take some time just associating the images that you see with the vocabulary that we've used. And whenever you're ready, you're more than welcome to continue forward with the video. Moving on, we have I took a. Also in the present tense, I take a. So for example, I take a bus to work, or last night I took a bus home. I took. Overcrowded. This happens quite often with public transportation, right? Think of the metro in Paris or the underground in London, which is strictly referred to in London as the Underground. The Metro, Subway, the London Underground, or also known as the Tube, these are typically underground transportation systems that are public, and they are typically overcrowded, unless it's later in the evening. And then a shuttle is a specific type of public transport that gets you from point A to point B. For example, you go to an airport or you land at an airport and you're going to a specific area, you're leaving the airport, you might take a shuttle, which is it's different than public transportation in that a bus will move throughout the city. A shuttle is usually a shorter distance. Moving forward, we have commute, to commute, the verb, or a commute, which is a noun, or commuter, which is also a noun, but it is the person. So to commute means that you are going back and forth, either from work, a job, or you're commuting across state lines, like in the US, if you go from Indiana to Illinois, or it could be a cross-country commuter going from France to Germany, for example. You would say, I am a commuter, or I commute to work. Traffic jam. It is sort of like congestion or heavy traffic. The biggest difference is that a traffic jam means that nobody can move at all. There's no movement. Maybe there could have been a wreck, and it can last a while, anywhere from 30 minutes up to hours. So that's a traffic jam. Sidewalk is what you see on the side of the road. Sometimes it's raised up off of the road and other times it's not. In this photo, you can see that it's a grayish tone. It's different from the road itself. So that's sidewalk, plural sidewalks. Then you have lorry or semi-truck. That is a really, really big vehicle. Really big. It transports products, massive quantities of one product from one side of the country to the other. It could be maybe for household products, you name it, it can transfer products. Lorry is a reference in the UK. So if you're a lorry driver, you drive a semi-truck. And if you are a truck driver in the United States, that is somebody who drives a semi-truck. But it can also be someone who drives a Ford F-150, a truck. Okay? So lorry or semi-truck driver. Take a moment to pause the video, look at the images, associate the vocabulary with those images. And when you're ready, feel free to unpause the video and move forward. Vocabulary 17 through 20. We have air pollution, the ability to breathe well within a city or outside of city limits due to things like exhaust fumes. Then we have noise pollution, which is like air pollution, but it deals with sound. Lots of cars honking, vehicles moving, engines revving. That's noise pollution. We have exhaust fumes. These are emissions from vehicles like cars, semi-trucks, lorries, things of that nature. Then we have rush hour traffic. This is a specific time of the day when everyone is either going to work or they're going home. Rush hour traffic. We have carpool, which is where one vehicle transports multiple people to a specific location. You see this quite often when you work at a specific location and not everyone wants to spend a lot of money on transportation, so they might chip in a little bit of money to one specific person and all drive to work and drive home together. That's known as carpooling. Road signs, these are the visible indicators next to the road that tell you what you can or cannot do. They're the regulations, right? So this one is pedestrian crossing, for example. The next is traffic lights. This varies from one culture to another. For example, here in France, they have green, and then they have orange, and then they have red. In the United States, we say green, yellow, red, and in the UK, they say green, amber, red. So keep that in mind. Speed limit, that's how fast you're able to go, how quickly you're able to move, or how slowly. And then we have navigating with the vocabulary. So we get up in the morning and we go on a journey, an adventure. We walk on the sidewalk, finally get on public transportation to get on. Maybe it's a bus, maybe it's a train. Either way, it's public transport. We're carpooling with a group of people, right? From carpooling, we go to road signs. We see them as we're in our public transportation. Maybe we hear a lot of noise, or there's air pollution because of other vehicles or pedestrians. Then you have speed limits, where it might be 30 miles per hour or kilometers per hour. And then you have rush hour traffic. You get stuck in it, and then you have to go slower than the speed limit. This is just one example of how you can use the vocabulary. There's a lot of different ways that you can. Moving forward, just a gentle reminder of what we've discussed today. We discussed vocabulary, where there were pause activities. We also will follow up with a thank you and some resources. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. You're always welcome to replay it. It's posted on YouTube. This is my professional email, my LinkedIn, and my Twitter in case you want to get in contact with me in any way. Feel free to do so. And here are some resources. Transportation Vocabulary, a movie that I really enjoy, August Rush, dealing with noise pollution. Transportation and vehicles, vocabulary words in English. This can be useful if you want more generic vocabulary or specialized, depending on what you would like to know. Additional transport vocabulary, followed up by asking about public transportation. These are dialogues and recordings of the dialogues being spoken, so you can hear how it's supposed to be said. Feel free to access any of these resources. Again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.